Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Zymax, and I'm your chief show attendant. On behalf of the two hosts and the rest of the crew, welcome aboard Weird Wednesday Flight number 13, non-stop, from your current location to parts unknown. Our flight will be at about 2 hours, and we'll be flying at the speed of sound. At this time, make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position, and that your seatbelt is currently fastened. Enjoy the ride.
What's up, everyone? How's it going? Welcome to Weird Wednesday. I see Azariana saying it's definitely been weird for her. So tonight we got Steve with us from A Night Among Ghosts.
What's up, everybody?
His other half is a little under the weather feeling, maybe.
Yeah, and Heather's feeling bad too. Bernadette's pretty good.
There you go.
I got her here with me tonight, so
You got a real skinny girl next to you there.
Bernadette's been with us for going on 9 years now. So she's been a part of everything we've done from day one.
Yep.
Used to be, I don't know if some of you guys remember, it used to be Claude and Bernadette, and Claude was stolen Halloween a few Halloweens ago. So we have not found a good replacement.
He's probably in somebody's dorm room.
Ew.
Probably. That's what I'm thinking. He's living it up somewhere.
Yep. How you been doing?
I think just a little under the weather tonight, so I thought I'd at least come in and be part of the peanut gallery here.
There you go.
Well, we're glad to have you because we got
Thank you.
still some weird stuff to talk about.
Always.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just coming off the heels of 2020, I feel like still. So.
Oh, God, it's just a blur.
Like continued right in and just gotten weirder.
Yeah, just blending together.
Yeah.
What have you guys been up to? Rob, you've been so busy. We haven't seen you at all lately.
Yeah.
You got a lot of
He's
stuff
been
going on.
making jewelry like crazy.
I've seen some of that. That's awesome.
On fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good on there.
I've been trying to set my shop up and work out of my shop that's being set up at the same time. So that's probably not a good idea, but you know me. I'm not happy unless I'm going 10 different directions in one, you know?
Yeah, you're not getting it done unless you go in 10 different directions.
Yeah, exactly.
It's getting a little overwhelming, to say the least, right now. But hey, like I said, if they're not, go ahead, Jamie.
That's what we're talking about ahead of time.
Yeah. What have you been up to, Jamie? I've seen some posts here and there, but what else you do?
Not too much. Just the busy everyday life crap and
Yeah.
Right?
nothing too exciting.
Well, it's all exciting, even if it's boring. Gotta keep at it though.
There's definitely not dull moments. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to take a few minutes to stay with the kids and went to the pool, chilled.
Oh man, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah, you just have to stop sometimes. Here lately, Heather and I have been pulling almost 16-hour days from Thursday to Sunday. So it's been long days, but like I said, we're enjoying it. If you don't enjoy what you do, you really can't put that much into it. So
yeah,
and she's just amazing at what she does. So she's pulling 3 candle classes a day and then turning right around and doing a full tour.
wow.
So she's got her schedule full. We're running scavengers quite a bit. That's picked up a lot. The witchcraft candle bar, like I said, that just came out of the gate. We tease each other about. I have the scavengers and she has the candle bar and the ghost tours. And we'd see who can get more people in for the weekend. But she is just kicking my butt. Yeah, she's kicking my butt, and I'm the one advertising. She's not advertising. Other than what we do with Totally St. Augustine, which I want to throw a shout out there. They posted some stuff up this past week for us here for Weird Wednesday tonight. Renee does a phenomenal job, and if you guys have never seen Totally St. Augustine, check it out.
Yeah,
she does a great job. But so she's really pushed a lot of that and really got the candle stuff going. We started with 4 people, a table of 4. And we thought, that might be pretty good, and that developed real quick into being sold out every week.
Oh, wow.
Kept selling that out. So now we're up to 12. We had to rearrange the entire parlor. You can tell it looks a little different in here now.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know if any of you guys had seen it. We had we're going to do the seance table. Everything came out to make room for the witchcraft candles. So,
cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So we're having fun with it though. We're enjoying it. Of course, the ghost tours. She's 90 to nothing on the ghost tours. We're actually looking. Throw this out for anybody in St. Augustine. We're actually looking for help. So we got some things planned and got some new stuff coming, like always. But
what kind of help would you need?
We're looking for people. Just we can kind of teach you what's going on, but looking for people with great personalities. I think that matters. It makes a huge difference. If you guys have ever been on any of Heather's tours, she does the candles the same way. She puts that much heart and effort into all the candles making and that kind of thing as well. So any experience you've ever been on, you realize that she just pours everything into what she does.
Yeah.
She really just loves every bit of it, and she has a passion for it. That's the kind of people, she's got I keep telling people that want to work for us, it's a high bar to jump over, with Heather's experience and what she does seems to be natural. She puts the guest into such a great feel all the time. Everybody feels real comfortable around her all the time. So I think that's important.
The intent is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like the first time I met her, I told that story before. I was driving down the road and I saw, when you guys had the little gray cube or whatever, with the logo on the back and
the toaster.
Yeah. And Darcy came home and she was like, I saw this ghost car thing today. And I was like, huh. And it was like, I don't know, a few days later, I saw it and I was like, I got to find out who these people are.
Yeah. The toaster even made it to Travel Channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Up it in the Travel Channel. So
yeah.
Gypsy wasn't in the Travel Channel. Our van now, our 15. We went from a cube, which was the smallest thing I think you could ever own, and then to a 15-passenger transit van to do tours in. So we've grown quite a bit. We were trying to reminisce about that the other day, and you get so caught up in everything going on all the time. You really don't stop to think of where you were, a year ago, exactly. Where you were 2 years ago, and we've really made some inroads.
Yeah, I remember the first time meeting Heather, in person, and just going, doing investigations around here, and like the antique shop that we used to go to downtown and all that, and I was doing something, filming something, and she was like, "Oh, I'm not good at like talking," and I'm like, "You think you're not good at talking?"
Yeah, yeah. She thinks she's not good at everything, but she's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I try to tell her that all the time, but she's really humble about what she does. She really loves it. She's getting a little more confident with herself, which is fantastic. And people realize how good she is. It's just I guess the humble everybody, nobody wants to be out there, with their neck out all the time, but she does such a great job. So she's starting to get a little more confident about that. So it's,
Cool.
she's gotten some good things lately. She got her Reiki certificate. She finally finished all of that. So she got 3 classes in under her belt for that. So that took her a little while to get all
Awesome.
3 levels of that done. So she's starting to get to where she's opening up. And that's one of the reasons we need help here so much. I don't want everything else to hinder her, thought processes there, and really enjoying what she does. So I don't want the day-to-day to become, the mundane for her. So I've tried to take a lot of that on my shoulders, all the web stuff, all the marketing, all the, we've finally been able to hire people in and help people out, get people to help us out. It's just, it's been phenomenal. We've come across some great people that are really good at what they do, and we're starting to put a pretty good puzzle together here. So it's all clicking. So
Nice.
And if you grow, like as you're expanding and you get good trusting people like that, as you're growing, you're going to build, because you've got that strong foundation already, you're going to grow a really good family.
Yeah. It's everybody we've come across, we've connected with. They all, like I said, we've been pretty picky about who we've connected with, and we always have been. You got to make sure you're in. Everybody's in the same frame of mind.
Yeah. Well, as usual, my share button.
I was gonna say something weird happened in Florida recently, huh?
That's Florida all the time.
Every day. Yeah. I
It's
kind
all
of
the time.
fell behind on the Florida man story this week. But the other night,
Yeah.
let me see if I can.
Yeah, one of our neighbors is an astronomer. He's out there the other night, and I was like, "Oh, something must be going on."
Yeah.
Did you see it?
I'm not sure. I haven't talked to him since. We're off, our schedule's off of everybody else. We're getting going on everybody else is starting to be done for the day.
Yeah. The other night, there's an article I'll read here real quick. It's wasn't a bird, wasn't a plane that gave Floridians a shock late Monday night. It wasn't even Superman. A meteor shot across the sky around 10 p.m. Monday evening. Residents along the state's Atlantic coast from West Palm Beach south to Miami shared videos of the surprising sight on social media. Dash cam footage, security footage, all kinds of footage showed a still dark night suddenly lit up by what appeared to be a large fireball streaking diagonally across the sky. In just a few seconds, it was over. According to NASA, an asteroid is a small rocky object that orbits the sun. A meteor is what happens when a meteoroid, a small piece of asteroid or comet, burns up upon entering the Earth's atmosphere, creating a streak of light in the sky. It was weird. Remember, Jamie, I was talking just a couple of weeks ago, I was driving and I saw something like shoot out of the sky, like right in front of me in the road. I don't know what it was, but I'm assuming it was a small piece of space junk. But there's a disagreement online whether the Monday night visitor was an asteroid or a meteorite. Whatever it was shaved close to the Earth's surface Monday evening. Close for a space rock anyway. It was expected that 2021 GW4 would fly between 12,000 and 16,000 miles from the Earth's surface, according to earthsky.org. It's estimated to be traveling at 18,706 miles per hour relative to Earth. Zach Covey, a meteorologist for local CBS affiliate in Florida, wrote on Twitter that the meteor seen Monday was indeed 2021 GW4. It likely flew much closer to Earth's surface than what was originally expected. And yeah, you see these things in the news about, giant meteor gonna collide with Earth, in 3 months or next week or whatever. Well, apparently they've been watching this one for a while, and it's speculative to whether this was actually it or not. They don't really know, even though they talk about it both ways. And but the bottom line is they don't really know for sure if this was GW4.
Nice.
But to put this in perspective, most close approach asteroids are between 1 and 3 million miles from Earth. This one was 9,300 miles from Earth.
That's pretty tight then compared to
Yeah.
most.
Yeah. And there's different footage of it. And I first saw this on the local surf shop here. They had Surfline's camera, which is Surfline is a surf report. There's surf cams, that look at the surf from all over locations. They have a little montage of it here. If I can get the ever stubborn share screen to share.
When you mentioned space junk, there was an article I seen earlier, but I had skipped past it, and I don't remember now where. But they found a piece of space junk that they're like really interested in, that they're looking at, and I don't remember where now.
Yeah, this is different clips that were just cameras looking out the ocean, and it's a pretty bright one.
That's pretty good.
That'd
And
be
of course,
crazy to see.
yeah, of course, there's all kinds of I didn't know there was music behind this. There's all kinds of conspiracy theories. It wasn't a comet, it was a UFO. It's like everybody's arguing about it. But I don't know. Looks like
Looks like a meteor to me.
yeah.
A UFO would have been cloaked. Come on now.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, there's that one. And
That's pretty good. That's the first footage I've seen of that.
I think I have another one. Yeah, this one. This was a news reporter that was doing a story on something, and it just happened to like buzz in back of him.
Oh wow, that's totally a comet or meteor.
And always send us in space because, oh my gosh, what is that in the sky?
It's like right in the middle of his story. Oh my gosh, what is that in the sky?
That's pretty slick. You guys remember the one, was it Russia? A few years back? The one that came in with such a huge fireball.
Yeah. And
like the window, they said they estimated the size of a bus.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That one was a big one for sure. Yeah, man, that caused a bunch of damage over there.
Yeah, that was something. That's pretty cool.
Well, speaking of UFOs, there's an update to that 2019 video of the UFO spotted by jet fighter pilots. And now the Pentagon is confirming that the leaked videos are genuine. I'm looking for my screenshots.
Yeah, I had trouble getting this one on the way you sent it, but I think I have a clip of it here.
Okay, I made, how I was trying to get all those articles. Well, I sent it to you and I didn't send it to myself. Basically, that video that everyone's looking at, they're now telling us, yeah, it's a genuine video. And it's just interesting why all of a sudden they're wanting to confirm all of this stuff to us.
Yeah. Let's see if this will play. There's not sound to part of it, and then there's part of it that does have a little sound that you can hear from the pilots when they actually get a beat on it.
And I believe they were around like a Navy ships or something, right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you can, when the thing, you can see it right there. It's hauling ass. And they actually get a track on it. There you go. But yeah, whatever it is, it's, you know, it's not a plane, a train, or an automobile. It's hauling butt. And so,
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, I mean, it's hard to deny that it's not something, you know. I mean, that when the videos get leaked out there, they pretty much just have to say, yeah, it's real. Next. They're not going to
Well,
tell
they covered it up. It's just strange why they're telling us now that it's real, because you know they always have like a convenient story to tie it up and put a period at the end, and you know.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
There was another one in Canada, I think, and it was like a 2004 video that they're confirming as genuine also. And I didn't pull that one up, but it just goes with, you know, what's all this disclosure now
Yeah.
and why. And, you know, we were set to go to the International Space Station, and I think that's being put off now till 2022. It's just strange all this stuff's like moving at the same time.
Yeah.
And then there was a little UFO detector found in New Jersey State Forest, but don't be worried because they disarmed it. The truth is out there, but New Jersey might not be able to find it now. A so-called UFO detector site was found in Wharton State Forest on Dust Pile Road in Tabernacle Township on Friday, the New Jersey State Park Police said in a Facebook post. A detective unit and a canine unit were both set to check out the device, and a member of the canine unit named Prime determined the device to be safe. There certainly was no alien technology used to construct the item, which was disarmed by police by unplugging the headphone wires from a block of wood as well as the soup can they were plugged into.
We got Rob. Here we are. Hey,
It was
Rob.
not immediately clear who left the instrument there or how long it had been there. While the park police say they are happy to get the help detecting otherworldly beings, they advise against leaving items like the detector in state parks. Although humankind and the visitors to New Jersey state parks appreciate an extraterrestrial warning device like this, we should not be finding them in our state parks. But why do they make such a big deal over it and they have to, you know, disarm it? Like,
How
how do they know it was a UFO detecting device? I mean, it's just a thing plugged into a can. What made them think that's what the purpose of it is?
Yeah. Could be anything. Or do they know exactly what it is?
I don't know. It's just strange that they made such a big deal over.
This is what's strange is my whole computer just crashed there a minute ago and I had a black screen. So that's how my night's going, and that's how it's apparently going to continue. So,
Yeah, it started with your lights not staying on.
yeah, you know.
What's that thing built with?
What's
What is
what?
it? What's that hanging on there?
I can zoom in on that.
I don't know. Just looking at it, it's like a
It's like
antenna. It looks like an antenna sticking on that box with like a wire on it, and
it's like they hung a
like a
mask.
panel, a sensor like the ones that you stick on your door.
Oh, is that one? It looks like a mask.
Yeah, it kind of does. Who knows?
I don't know. It kind of looks like those strips that you can pull apart that use in the doorbells that are like the sensor, the breakers. It's a sensor.
Yeah.
And it lets you know like the ding ding when the door's open.
It looks like something somebody made in their garage and just set out in the woods, and everybody's freaking out about it.
Yeah.
Who knows what it is? It's a UFO detector. They don't sell those downtown now.
Trying to figure out what all the pieces and parts are. It looks like a 2x6, a 2x4, strip of wood, and a tin can.
Yeah.
I just want to know what made them think.
I think if
I
they,
mean, I can kind of see why they'd send the canine out. Make sure it's not a bomb.
Yeah.
yeah, that's really. Maybe they're going low tech since the UFOs are such high tech. That's the rule, right?
Yeah.
If you're going for high tech, you go low tech, right?
Keep it simple. Yeah. Who knows? Let's see if my share button wants to crash my computer again this time. We'll try it again.
Oh, Ulrich's saying he saw one, I guess he's talking about the meter back when he drove a cab at 4 a.m, but with a green tail. That's really cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this one I came up, had this one last week and forgot to do it. So I figured, hey, why not do it tonight?
I couldn't find anything tonight, I've been looking for 3 days for articles.
Yeah, if you've heard of the Black Knight, he's not riding a horse. For years, some have speculated that this unusual piece of space junk is actually an extraterrestrial device. You've probably seen this photograph before, above a black metallic chunk of some unidentified remnant of the space industry that was captured on camera by NASA back in 1998. Officially, it's simply a little more than a piece of debris. But to many conspiracy theorists, the Black Knight is in fact an extraterrestrial satellite that has been observing our planet for years. So I don't know which story you're going to go with. Who knows? But it is kind of weird that it's been hanging out for so long. Stories concerning the object have been retrospectively dated as far back as the 19th century to repeating extraterrestrial radio source that was heard during Nikola Tesla's radio experiments. While this signal has since been attributed to a pulsar, something that hadn't been identified at the time, there are still many who attribute it to the Black Knight satellite. During the 20th century, speculation over the possibility of an orbiting alien surveillance platform received a further boost when astronaut Gordon Cooper reported seeing a UFO during his trip into space aboard the Mercury Atlas 9 mission in 1963. There's also been reports of the U.S. Navy detecting a dark-colored spy satellite in 1960. In more recent years, it's been suggested that the object photographed in 1998 was actually a thermal blanket used to shield top-secret U.S. spy satellites from detection during the Cold War. As things stand, there's really nothing to suggest that the object is anything but space debris. However, this is unlikely to satisfy those who describe to the belief that it's something more. Whatever the case, it's a conspiracy theory that's unlikely to disappear anytime soon. So, yeah, it's still up there. It's still being captured by NASA and anybody else that wants to point a telescope into space and run across this. It would be pretty weird to, I mean, that's, pretty clear picture somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd like to know what reference size that thing is.
Yeah.
Compared to what?
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah. So is it just a thermal blanket? Is it space junk? I mean, what better way to, if they were going to have an extraterrestrial satellite, just like, hey, let's make it look like garbage and nobody will think twice about it.
Yeah, don't make it look like a satellite.
Yeah, don't make it look like a satellite. Make it look like a piece of the Challenger or something floating around up there. Who knows?
See, it almost worked for Han Solo, right? He ejected with the rest of the garbage. They got away.
Exactly.
Except it was good enough to know he was there, right?
Yeah. But whatever it is, it's still hanging out to this day. It's still there. And who knows?
It's really strange looking.
Yeah. Yeah, it pops up in the news every once in a while, and it popped up, a week or so ago. So
what if it was just like an ash on their telescope lens?
Yeah, exactly. Little bug turd or something on the camera lens. Every time I point it to the sky, I see the same thing.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Yeah, I'm interested to see what all this is about. Why they keep talking about it so much.
Yeah, I think there's going to be, sooner or later, there's going to be a reveal,
Of course.
I mean, I pretty much, I don't have proof, but I believe in extraterrestrials, I probably think.
They must know something. Somebody's got something because they're just trying to get out in front of it. Is all I'm assuming.
Yeah, they keep
I was
coming.
just thinking if they're putting that out now, I bet they're going to tell us something not too far off about it.
Yeah, they keep coming up with that excuse that oh, people aren't ready for the truth. You can't handle the truth. At this point, they could say, hey, they're real. And I'd be like, see, I told you so.
Would it shock you at this point?
Yeah. I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. I'm like, yeah, I've been
That's
telling
what
you
we've
that
been
all
trying to say
along.
for 30 years.
Not a lot of shock value left, I don't think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was listening to an interview last night with Joe Rogan and Rob Zombie, and they were talking about films and everything, and how Rob Zombie, was like this rock and roll band guy, and now he's like doing films and doing all kinds of different stuff. And it was funny, they were just talking about like, watching old, like really old films and stuff. And Rob Zombie's a huge film buff, and even Joe Rogan was like, yeah, you're like watching the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and like Nosferatu and all these movies way back in the day. Like for a lot of people, those were like, there was a huge shock value, Bela Lugosi, like when Frankenstein, the original Frankenstein came out, it freaked a lot of people out. And nowadays like what does it take to freak people out? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. When they remake the movies and they think, with the technology they can make them better, there's still something about those older movies that are still creepier, like the way they did it, than the remakes or the reboots, whatever.
Yeah, they try to go for that huge shock value now, blood and guts and everything. But yeah, like those old movies, even some of the silent ones, there's just a creep factor to them, that makes your imagination work better than just being bombarded with a bunch of crap.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's what it is. Makes you work for it a little bit.
Yeah.
And that they had to do all that it wasn't all just, digitally done or,
And like the original Frankenstein, the makeup and stuff that they did back then was pretty awesome. And then they created the lighting, to like really highlight that. Like, when they first showed the monster, it freaked a lot of people out.
Yeah.
Now they're, the one movie that still freaks me out is The Exorcist, the original Exorcist. And now they're doing a remake of that. So that'll be interesting to see.
That's one I wish I could have seen, like in the theater.
Yeah.
When it came out.
Yeah, I think I was living at my mom and dad's house still, and it was during the winter. Had a big fireplace down in the living room, and it was a big pull-out couch. And my room is all we had were those radiator heaters, like along the baseboard. So in the wintertime, a lot of times I'd sleep downstairs. I just pull the couch out and sleep like by the fireplace. And I fell asleep one night, and I was watching, I don't know, it was like MTV or something. I don't know what it was, like music videos or something. And I fell asleep to that, and I woke up to The Exorcist. And it still to this day, like, I think it mentally like screwed me somehow.
Yeah, blame it on The Exorcist. Rob.
Yeah, well, gotta blame it on something, right?
It takes more than just that, right?
Yeah.
That's the lost route.
Yeah.
Well,
It takes more
I
than
got.
just that.
What was that?
I said it took more than just that.
Yeah.
You know, people ask us all the time what our favorite haunted movie or favorite haunted show, you know, the ghost shows and stuff. And people are taken aback sometimes because we'd say, well, we don't really watch a whole lot of them. You know, I guess I don't want to say we live it day to day, but, you know, as far as ghost stuff, I think we get to see a pretty good bit of that. But some of the shows, you know, unfortunately, I think are a little
like the paranormal shows, you mean?
Yeah.
No.
Wish it gets a little more reality with some of those.
Yeah, it's anything that's network TV, you know, there's puppet masters in the back doing something. I can't.
Yeah, I hate that people you hear that more and more now. You know, a few years back, you know, we used to hear how good this was or good that was. And some people still like them, but you're starting to hear more and more now that people are realizing that it's, you know, a lot of it's staged, a lot of it's set up.
Yeah.
It's cool to see locations and get ideas for stuff, but it's like I need to be there. I need to know you know, like before I have to experience it and be there. I can't just take someone's word. I can compare it with my own experience, go, yeah, that could have happened, but I don't trust it. I can't trust it. I trust them more.
I hate that. I hate that for the industry. I wish, you know, because that's one thing we've said from day one. Any evidence that we ever show, you know, I've told you guys this before, any evidence we ever present, we always make sure that we're, you know, 100% honest about it. Either it is or it isn't, you know, there's no need for making stuff up.
Just like this is what happened, this is what we got.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, and you don't get it every day, but I mean, I guess that's part of the thing there. It's a money machine for the networks.
Yeah.
So if you're not interesting every single week, you know, I couldn't imagine, you know, some people coming on tour with us every single week. I mean, we have some great things happen, you know, but we're still shocked sometimes that we have customers that will interact with a spirit. There will be, valid conversation going on, and what they take away from is something that one of the machines did. You know, it's because they see those on the shows all the time. So that's one thing that Heather does really well is show you more of the
like trust your intuition, trust your gut.
Side of things. You know, the Victorian spiritualism is a lot of what she goes through. The pendulums, the dowsing rods, you know, we always try to tell everybody how to do it as accurately as possible to make sure that they, you know, that it's right, and then you get valid responses. Because that's really what makes it great, is when you get a group together, a really good group going, and 2 or 3 people hear the same thing, see the same thing, react to the same thing. You know, that's when you start
like
to
when
get
you're there and you see like a shadow, and like, you know, you saw, and then someone else said, and it's like, okay, I know you just validated what I saw. You get that extra validation.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah.
Hopefully the industry will shift gears a little bit here and get back to a little bit more of the real side.
Yeah, I think it's like up to, you know, I'd rather watch a lot of people's stuff on YouTube than anything on TV, because I don't think, you know, when they spend all this money to go to a location, if they don't get much, like there's times, you know, when I'd spent a lot to go places, and there's places I go a lot that have a lot of activity, and then sometimes you go and you don't get that much. Well, if they spend all this money to go out there and there's nothing, it's like, well, we have to put a show together. So they, you know, what was it like on a certain show I'm not going to mention, you know, there's times you see like the finger actually come out from the camera, and it's like, come on, like
that's pretty blatant there for sure. But I wish the industry would kind of get to a more real. But like I said, YouTube, and you know, a lot of that has got a lot of validity to it. A lot of it's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, you know perfectly well that, like you said, you know, you can't go out there. You can't just go, hey, let's have some spirits, you know, and they just and they show up like monkeys, you know. I always compare it to like fishing. You know, some days the fish are biting great and you have a great time, and other days you're just sitting out there bored out of your skull. And
Yeah, it's just, and it's still amazing to me after all these years, to when you do start to interact and things start to come through and things are it's still just amazing. So
yeah, I mean, that, like the skeptic side of me, there's a side of me that is a huge skeptic, and I question everything, and I always try to think of
You
an
should.
think of a reason why that wasn't real. What I just saw, is it like, am I like hallucinating? What did
Well, that's what I think. I think you need to go backwards and do that. When people are just so quick to jump and say that's angels, like I can think right now of 5 other things that could have been before I'm going to say it's angels. Like
yeah, for sure. You gotta make sure, for sure. Nothing wrong with questioning it at all.
Yeah, I mean,
Because it's the ones you question and you can't solve. That's
from time to time, I get a little disillusioned that I'll just like have gone through this spell where, not a few weird things happen, but I can kind of explain it or whatever, at least think of excuses. And I kind of get a little, I start thinking about it, and then something happens again that just brings me right back to reality of like, holy crap, that was real, that I just saw that or heard that or whatever. And
yeah, those are the fun ones.
Yeah. It's that bolt of energy that knocks you back into.
Well, I tell people all the time, I mean, we've seen things, we've seen full-bodied apparitions, we've seen, I mean, you name it, we've seen it, and it never fails to spook you. It'll spook you every time. I don't, if when it happens, it makes you think twice,
and your gut knows, and it's like you just know, like someone, even if you just know, it's like a feeling.
Yeah.
There was a time we were at Bonnie Springs Ranch, and Angry Joe was leading the tour, and for some, like, I just felt like going and walking up to the side of this house, and I just walked over because I felt like going over there, and then I just felt, you just feel stuff, and then Joe's looking at me and he goes, "What did he say?" And I was like, like, what? He goes, "What did he say?" And I'm like, he didn't really say anything. I said, he just wanted to say hi. Like, but I knew what he was talking about. Said he just wanted to say hi. And he goes, "You're the first person in so many years that have mentioned that, and that there's actually been like a spirit there that has been known to call, like, he misses his wife and has been known to like call people over to say hi." But it's something I never would have thought about if he didn't say that. It's like he brushed things off.
Yeah.
And then you get that validation.
Yeah. The stories that I like a lot is when you have 2 different things going on at 2 different times, and there's a valid moment between where the 2 connect. 2 people see it 2 completely different perspectives, not even in the same area.
Yeah.
We had one that comes to mind. We had our paranormal team out at one of the crazy spots we like to go to. I think where I'm alluding to, but we like to go out there from time to time, and it's off the chain sometimes. But we had a paranormal group out there, and Joe and I were sitting in the van, and Heather had the group out over in the area, and this white dog is walking down the street. And I looked at Joe and I said, all it was, we could see moonlight. It was really, really dark that night. Decent amount of moonlight. And I said, check out that dog. That dog's huge. It was a white dog just walking right down the street. And I noticed it started to turn towards the group and walk that direction. So I jumped out real quick to head over that way just to make sure it wasn't some wild, crazy dog. And when I came around the front of the van, the dog was gone. And I just thought maybe, okay, it took off or something, but I looked up and down where I thought it would have been. I walked over to them and I said, "Hey, did you guys see that dog?" And Heather turned to me and said, "That's really weird." She said, "We heard the dog. We could hear it breathing. We could hear its nails on the street, but we could never see it." And I thought that was fantastic that Joe and I saw the dog. And then as we're talking, we started thinking it was more like size of a wolf. It was pretty big.
Wow.
So Heather said, "Hey, let's start taking pictures around." And everybody started taking pictures. Well, one of the guys on the team actually got what looks like a native from about the chest up, and he has a white wolf head on top of his head. So
goosebumps.
That was slick. That was
Yeah.
so cool. That validation between all of us saw it, and then the picture. So
Wow.
See, that right there makes like a whole like month good. That's like awesome.
Yeah. That's some of the
gets you
stuff we're trying to. Remember, I mentioned to you earlier today, Rob. We're trying to get some of that evidence in. Some of our guests have gotten some fantastic stuff lately. Because when we go, typically we don't investigate.
Yeah.
We don't take pictures. We don't do that because we want them to have the experience. And so we've had some really cool pictures come along lately.
Yeah. That place you were talking about, is that, would it happen to be a graveyard?
No. That's over there. We've taken you over to that spot.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other time that I was with Heather, I don't think you were with us, but Joe and Deborah were there. Deborah and myself, Heather, and I think Kim were in the graveyard, the one right down the road from my house here. It was a night we saw this weird apparition thing like coming at. I'm running the ghost box, Mr. Techie nerd over here. I'm running the ghost box. And we were talking and everything, and I'm thinking to myself, why did they get so quiet? And about that time I looked up, and Heather was like tapping me on the shoulder. She was like, "Rob," and I looked up and I saw it, and Kim saw it, and I don't know what it was, but it freaked me out. And to me, I thought it was a person, and I have one of those surefire gun flashlights that's like super bright, and it was like getting to the point of like, I was like, do we run or what? And I hit it with the flashlight and there's nothing there,
Yeah.
And we all saw it, and I don't know, man. And then we saw it again a few minutes later.
I think I was with you guys that night. The kids were younger at that point.
Yeah.
My phone was about to die. I went to the car. That's when we had the toaster.
Yeah.
And I had gone to the car to put my phone on the charger real quick.
That's right. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, everybody's jumping in the car at one time and like, let's go. I'm like, what?
Yeah, right. You were there. We went to Mellow Mushroom that night.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I missed it.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a weird one. It's like,
that's very creepy.
Yeah. I've gotten some pictures over there. That's where I got that one crazy orb that was moving around that I saw with my own eyes, as well as took pictures of it. And then I've also got a couple pictures from there, and one of them looks like sort of like a Native American, with a headdress thing on it. Is pretty
cool.
And that's where I apparently picked up something that stuck with me for like 3 or 4 months.
Wanted to hang out.
Yeah. And it wasn't good, whatever it was. I don't know. I used to go in that cemetery, and anytime if I stayed on the left side of it, I was fine. If I went over to the right side, like, I don't know how many times, I would go over to the right side and I would feel like I was going to puke or something.
No, that right side draws you. That I don't know what it is. That right side over there has always drawn me over that way. So Heather's the same way.
Yeah.
Something about the right side of that entire area.
Yeah.
Through there. Definitely creepy.
That's cool about running tours like that, because when you're not involved and you're able to sit back, especially, if it's a place you're familiar with and you have investigated yourself, you guys know what's kind of like the baseline and what's normal behavior for that spot and what's, regular activity. And then you get to see how other people, it's almost like a little side experiment.
Yeah.
It's cool to get the valid responses for some things you've already known
exactly
in the past. So we try to keep notes and try to keep record of those pieces of the puzzle, because you never know. People pick up on different things all the time.
Yeah.
But it's one of the things that Heather does at the Jimenez house. Jimenez's house, by the way, is going great. We do that twice a month now. But she does a parlor night over there, and she started doing automatic writing with the groups, which is really cool. It's really neat.
Oh,
It's
wow.
turned some really cool things up as far as validation. And then they have a immaculate mirror. From my understanding, it's like an old stable mirror where they would come out of the stable and check their clothing and make sure they were proper on the horse before they left. So it's a huge mirror. But I'm assuming the lead in the mirror is making the mirror turn black.
Mhm.
And so they do mirror scrying with it. And there's been 2 or 3 people see the exact same man
Wow.
in the background behind them, and they describe him, and they haven't talked to each other. She makes sure that they don't talk to one another, prior. She gets the notes, makes sure everybody see what they say. But yeah, the exact same description of the same exact man
Nice.
on more than one occasion, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of stuff that's it's
I like to do the scrying. I could never get in, like, the automatic writing, something that.
automatic writing is neat in a group. You can keep it simple. It doesn't have to be overly complicated, but it's like I said, keep it simple. But it's neat to see some of the same names and some of the same types of things that are coming to mind.
Yeah.
And I have no reason.
Is she doing it, or are the other people doing it?
No, the whole group does it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so she just organizes it, and the whole group does it, and they do it for a few minutes, and then they compare notes as to what they all heard or what they all were thinking.
That's cool.
It's really neat when you get people. I mean, it's one thing. A couple of people say baseball or something like that, but it's neat when they're picking up names,
Yeah.
and then those names are tied to the house.
Wow.
That's what's cool. Is again, she does it before you go through the history, before you go through, so no one really knows what's happening. But it's neat to see some of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, when you were saying earlier, about, using just not always using ghost boxes, just using more traditional stuff and intuition and everything else. Like Sam and me used to go to that cemetery I was talking about once, twice, 3 times a week. It's like,
Yeah, that's such a great spot there.
4 blocks from my house and all. So, but we went there one time with the rods, and I'm like, I've never had really great luck with these. Sometimes they could be, they could work or whatever. And I was looking, we had gone online and brought up a bunch of, I don't know if it was Find a Grave or something, but we brought up some names, and I was like, okay, well, let's try these things out, and see if they work. And I just went through, found the name, and I started talking, and I said, can you lead me to this gravesite of this person, and I said the name, and I just started following the rods, through the cemetery, and I'll be damned if it didn't take me right to that name.
That's awesome.
And I'm thinking, this is crazy, man.
No, that's awesome.
And I turn around, and I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Linda, Laura, something like that. And I'm sitting there looking at the grave, looking at the name, and then I turn around, and there's somebody with that same first name, like maybe 15 feet away. So there was 2 of them right there, and
That's pretty cool.
the rods. I mean, I was pretty blown away. I mean, it literally took me right there, and I had no idea where that person's grave was. I had no clue. I mean, it's a fairly big cemetery. It could have just randomly taken me anywhere, but
yeah, no, that's awesome. It's neat to see them, and I think a lot of times it's whatever the spirit is able to do. I mean, I'm sure a lot of that stuff is complicated or difficult, or you get some that are good at it, and they still, I think the more you do things, we call it cultivating. when we go to a new site, we get out there a few times and try to get things going, try to get them used to the process as well, because sometimes they get better at it, and we've got a few spirits. Molly is phenomenal with the pendulums. I mean, I've seen some crazy things with the pendulum. We were at one of our spots one night, and this girl's got Molly on one of the pendulums, and one of the real telltale tests of if it's paranormal or if it's the wind blowing, or anybody can get it to rock. You have to watch the person doing it to see if they're not wiggling it or maneuvering it a certain way to get it to rock. But what Heather does really well is, hey, stop and steady that for me. Let's get it going left to right. Okay, now stop and steady that. And when she does, and you see it come to a stop, abruptly, that's slick. That's when it's, that's starting to validate. But so this girl had been doing it a few times back and forth. And like I said, Molly's great at it. And you could see her holding it at the bottom. It was almost like vibrating almost. The girl's hand moved away from where she had done it for so long. Her hand was tired a little bit. So she just slightly moved over. But what was neat is you saw the string on the pendulum go at an angle. And the pendulum stayed right where it was, and the string went this direction, but the pendulum stayed right there. It applied gravity for the moment, and when everybody gasped, it swung. It was, but it was just that moment of it holding there, and everybody saw it. I mean, there was 8 or 9 of us there that saw it. Yeah, and that was neat. It just defied gravity for a moment, and then, like I said, everybody jumped. Whoa! and then it swung away. So that was really cool. It's neat when you get stuff like that. Another one that we do well, we have a doll, Cindy, that Molly owned a few years ago by actually moving its head. So we gave the doll to Molly, so we take it with us everywhere we go on investigations. We think Molly's going to be with us, so we take the doll, and Heather will walk by me, and then we swap up in the dark there, and Heather looks like she's still holding it, and she's with the dowsing rod. She'll say, "Okay, Molly, if you're on these dowsing rods, please point to your doll." And everybody thinks Heather's got it, so everybody's waiting for it to go to her. Well, then the rods turn over to me, and everybody looks at me, and I hold the doll up. So Molly knew where that doll was. Yeah, exactly. But that's really, that's the validity that we like to get, because that person had no idea, that Heather wasn't holding that doll anymore. So it's neat. She's really, really good at, like I said, at getting that to work. And you got to have a good group. The group, the energy. Makes a big difference. And unfortunately, everybody's got their own beliefs, and we understand that, and we respect that completely. But at the same time, when you can feel it. I mean, a lot of times you feel it when they come in the door. It's like, okay, we may have a little bit of a difficult night tonight, but she's pretty good at separating those people out, and sometimes they separate themselves out anyway. They either get bored or they give up or whatever, and it's crazy, because as soon as they leave, as soon as they walk off, and there's that negative energy that's walking away, and I don't mean negative like they're bad people. They're just not into what we're doing. But as soon as that goes a different direction, all of a sudden things just wake up, and you get things going, you get things happening.
Do you also get the people who like yell and scream and jump at every little thing, or what do you do?
No, everybody's, Heather's really good at making sure that, I have to remind her all the time that she has known this from day one. She's never not known spirit. Her family has a lineage of this. So I have to remind her that not everybody has seen it like that, and I joke around with her when I talk to people about it. And I say, I come from like a normal household. This didn't happen all the time, but it has to be reminded sometimes that, people aren't used to that. But no, everybody, she's really good at talking to people in the beginning. She has about a 30-minute intro where she's really letting people know the ins and outs of what we're about to do. But sometimes you can see on people's faces the reality of what did we get into?
Yeah.
What are we? This is not just stories. This is not, So, but it's neat. And it's really neat to see the skeptics. We love skeptics. We love anybody that comes in the door to spend time with us. And we appreciate everyone, but it's really neat to see the skeptics, the ones that are open-minded, and at least can think of the possibility of it happening. We've seen some phenomenal things, and by the end of the night, they've completely flipped.
Yeah.
That's when it's even more fun. When that happens.
I was gonna say, sometimes you have those skeptics or just negative people that maybe the husband came with the wife or vice versa, and they just don't believe, and they're just like, But then you have those people that they don't believe, and they're like, I'm gonna have to see something before I believe any, and they may just be thinking that, not necessarily saying it, but then something happens. They come there not believing, they leave there going, holy crap.
That's they leave going, well, maybe that's a possibility. But we had, our best skeptic story, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this, but our best skeptic story was we were in the middle of downtown here in St. Augustine, and this guy was open-minded, nice guy, great guy. Family was really into it. The wife, the daughter, they were all into it, really heavy. And so he was just along for the ride, and he told us up front, I'm just here for the ride. This is stuff they like doing. So she's off down one of the side streets here in town, and it's late. It's it's probably 11 o'clock at night. She's telling the story of the lady in white. Every town's got a lady in white, right? Mm-hmm. But and that's probably one of the things that did it for him there too. Every town has the lady in white. But she's telling the story, and they all start to kind of walk down the street after she's done. And he's hanging back 10, 15 feet. And you can tell he's not really engaged a whole lot, but he's kind of looking around and, checking out the city and just enjoying being there. And all of a sudden he freaks out. You hear this yell, and everybody turns around, and he takes off down another street, down like this little side street. And the wife was like, I have no idea. And so we got down to him, rounded the corner, and he's down there spinning circles with his phone, doing this as fast as he can go. And we get to him. The wife says, what is the matter with you? What is wrong? And he goes, you won't believe this. He's all out of breath and freaking out. You won't believe this. You were talking about the lady in white. We were just talking about her. And we started to walk away. And I was, behind you guys. And all of a sudden behind me, I heard a lady say, turn around.
Oh, shit.
And so when I turned around, she's standing there. She's standing there in front of me, and she walks down the street. So I was trying to get a picture of her. So he completely flipped, at that moment. That was his
and that's probably why she chose to show him for some reason.
Yep.
Yeah. She's done that. She's done that to a few skeptics on tour. She loves skeptics.
Yeah.
She's done that to a couple. She'll whisper to them, or she'll, but that was the first one that we've actually got confirmation of an apparition where somebody actually saw it.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Those are the, they're all fun, but that's really, when you see something like that flip, that's great.
Yeah. I've mentioned this before. I got a friend that, his girlfriend, wife, might be his wife now, I'm not sure, but his girlfriend is really into ghost, stuff, and wants to go on a tour and all that, and his daughter's into it, and he's like, me, I don't believe in any of that crap, And I just ran into him one day, like in Home Depot or something. He was telling me this. We were just hanging out talking, and he's like, like to go, go out with you sometime, my daughter's really into it, and they'd have a good time, and, I'll go along, but me, I don't believe in any of that. And I'm like, that's cool. I said, sooner or later, something might happen.
Yep.
And it was like 3 weeks later, he like starts texting me, and he's like, dude, he had some crazy stuff happen. He does construction. He was working in a house, and he's like, man, I'm in this house. I'm by myself. There is no one in here, and my tools and stuff are moving by themselves.
That's cool. That's great.
He's like, what did you do to me when we were talking? Did you put some kind of mojo on me? And I'm like, hey.
No, you just chip that little thought process that it's possible.
Yeah.
You crack that egg.
Yeah.
You know, that's all it takes. You know,
Yeah.
once you really start to just open up to it, then things start happening.
It's like,
You know?
I don't know if I believe in all this stuff, but I can't explain what's happened to me over the last few days at this place.
Yeah, I love it when, you know, I mean, that's the whole idea of paranormal. It's the
Yeah.
definition
It's
of
fun
paranormal.
popping their paranormal cherries, you know.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I've told that story before, like when I was a little kid, and my parents, my mom, my dad used to run the oldest store museum, and I, you know, being a little kid, I kind of grew up there, and I would be upstairs in that place, and I'd just be whatever, you know, doing arts and crafts stuff, coloring, whatever, and there was an old lady that used to walk by, and I'd see her all the time, you know, and she'd just walk by and kind of like look over at me, but she would never say anything. And, you know, after seeing this like dozens of times, I'm thinking, you know, my little kid brain is like, yeah, this lady's kind of rude, you know, she like never says anything.
Never says anything to me.
Yeah. And, you know, one day I started like talking, like, you know, hey, you know, and she'd just walk by and look at me. And I got up and I followed her one day. And there was these, like, they use it up in the top there. At the time it was used for storage, and there was these, you know, shelves stacked full of stuff for the store downstairs. And, you know, and she was walking between those shelves, and I came around and I saw her, and she just walked into the wall and disappeared, walked right like
That's awesome.
yeah. And so that really freaked me out. So I remember going downstairs and I was asking my mom, I was asking some of the other ladies that worked there who the old lady was that's always coming upstairs. And they're like, who are you talking about? You know, I'd describe her. Nobody, you know, there's nobody that works here that looks like that. And the old guy, the blacksmith that I used to hang out with and watch him do all kinds of stuff. Maybe that's why I got into working with metal and stuff now. But he comes over to me and he's like, hey, he's asking me, he's like, what does that lady look like? And he described her, and I was like, that's exactly what she looks like. And he's like, yep, you're not crazy, boy.
That's awesome.
I see her too. I know exactly who you're talking about. She's not of the living. And he had just
How
heard
old were
me.
you?
I was probably 4, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I was pretty young. And but I would see this lady all the time. And maybe 5, I don't know. But yeah, it was
That's about the age.
yeah. Like we were talking the other day, you know, I think kids definitely have more of an open mind to be able to see stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Kids, we always say kids and pets. Animals.
Yep.
Horses are great at that. Where'd you go?
It just kicked me. All of a sudden, my screen went black. It goes, something went wrong.
That's me. That's what happened to me earlier. Weird.
Yeah, kids, pets. We say horses.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Are phenomenal. There's, you know, we have horses here in town with the carriages and stuff. It's really neat. Heather will be out there, and she never feeds them, but they always stop to see her. And she keeps saying, we need to start taking something for them. But they'll stop and they'll come up to her and they'll nudge, you know, want them to pet. And so she'll, you know, pet them. She knows all of them by name, all the drivers by name. And it's really neat that there'll be a gap between. There was this one time there was a gap between Heather and the next guest, and it was a good, you know, 6 feet between them. And so the horse comes up to Heather. She's by the road. The horse comes up, rubs on her like that, and she pets for a second. And then the horse moves over next to her and starts doing this in the air next to her. And Sam was standing there.
Whoa.
So yeah, so the horse could see Sam enough to think that, you know, he was going to get another pet. Probably did. I'm sure Sam did.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's neat. I saw somebody pop up about a ghost box.
Oh,
You guys
yeah.
want to do it? You guys got a session ready?
Not yet, but
You want to take a quick break and then do a session here?
Yeah. I'll get my box set up.
All right, I'm going to take a quick break.
Sounds good.
Yeah, there's another weird thing that happened to me years and years ago that maybe I'll talk about a little bit later. I've probably mentioned it on here before, but my computer's trying to freak out on me again. All right, I'm going to take a break. We'll be back in like 3 minutes or so.
This is Jason Bland, host of Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup, where we stream live as a webcast every Sunday night, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern, with guests who will blow your mind. Live ghost box sessions where you can call into the show to see if the spirits will talk to you, and the world wide web of weird with the latest in paranormal news and evidence. We're bringing the weird every Sunday night, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow and subscribe.
Do you like rock and roll? Do you enjoy a good story? Wish You Were Here, A Rock Fantasy is a book inspired by Badfinger. It will not only entertain you, but intrigue you. What's it about? While Thomas is searching for his bandmate and friend in heaven, he meets an old friend and famous new ones in his afterlife voyage. Reader's favorite hails Wish You Were Here, A Rock Fantasy.
Do y'all hear me? Testing, testing. Rob?
Hey, it works better if I turn my camera on and turn my mic on, right?
I
Yeah.
think sound cut out in the middle of the
Commercials.
I was in the bathroom and it stopped hearing everything. Thought I got kicked out again. I have all these things strategically stacked in a certain way,
Yeah.
and it's all about to throw up. My desk is about to barf.
Yeah. That's the way mine is right now, too. I touch one thing and 10 things fall. And I'm like, oh, hell with it. Let's let it fall.
It's one of those nights.
Okay, cool. You guys can hear now.
Yeah. I think what is it? I can't remember the name of it now. I don't know if it's out yet because I haven't been able to really keep up with it lately. But Steve's supposed to have.
Okay, cool. Yes.
Was that a loop?
Sounds like it, didn't it?
I think what is it?
It is. Where's that coming from?
I don't know if it's out yet because I haven't been able to really keep up with it lately. But Steve's supposed to have.
All right. More weird.
Oh wait, my other phone just went on. Okay. Good times. Yeah, Steve's got I think it's supposed to be I don't know if it's an app or a website.
Oh yeah, I saw something about that. We were talking about that the other
But
day.
yeah. And it's for I think the Astro Box or Miracle Box.
Yeah.
And then Josh, I think, is supposed to have something. So we should have some new stuff to test.
There's I think you're the all right. You're kind of
Cool. Can y'all hear that?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
What? No.
Okay, Lori. Would you like to ask the box? Oh, Josh is on the website? Yeah, I got them mixed up. It's on there now? Oh, nice. Yeah, maybe next Wednesday we can try out Josh's.
Get him.
Yeah. Get them. Giddy up. All right. Anybody in the chat room have questions that they would like us to ask?
Your mom?
Did you say your mom?
I don't know, it kind of sound like it.
I'm your mom. I think I'm no, I think
You know me, if I start asking questions, they'll probably start cussing at me.
Hello. Is anybody with us tonight that would like to talk? Or anybody here or somebody in chat that would like to leave a message? Or a validation? Can you tell us who's with us tonight? Do you know his name?
even I'm just gonna pretty much
Debbie wants to know if the spirits can tell her when her coaching business would take off.
Six.
almost
Yes.
wait. Feel I want you to feel.
Lori wants to know who's with us tonight. Can you tell us your name?
He's
Someone to say something?
I'm just taking that. Don't worry. Yeah.
Came out of the box.
more.
The spirits have anything to say to Christina?
Energy, earth, and water.
Extremely hard, extreme.
Is anybody here for Christina?
She's a god.
It again.
Stay or something if we just.
Here.
I think you're. So I'm just.
Laura wants to know.
No. We're not getting into that. Please.
Zariana wants to know if she could hear from Gary.
I think I heard message. Do you have a message?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Is that my name?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time hearing over my fan.
Spirits have any messages for me tonight?
Not a tiny bit, a little.
Dee wants to know if her mom, Mary Jane, or George is here tonight.
No, this renegade, I hang. It's just. All that's here. No. Oh, so.
Okay, Laura, we will ask that, but we're not getting into that whole thing. I don't want to bring that in. But Laura would like to know if her son is safe where he's at.
Sure. So,
Is Cameron safe?
I'm doing really well. This. Here.
And Laura wants to know if she's being attacked.
Breathe. Like I said, it's that restless.
And if she is, who's responsible?
Actually,
Oh, okay. You heard Steve?
No.
Laura?
you're so sure.
I heard that too, Zach.
Okay. You awaken.
Oh, both.
Wonderful.
little,
Well, Steve is with us tonight, Laura, so I was curious because I was actually meditating his name a few minutes ago, trying to get his name to come out, and I didn't hear it myself.
I think you're there's right. Is that hello?
Yeah, if you're listening, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Say something again.
Such.
Are there any spirits here tonight that usually interact with Steve and Heather on their tours from around town here?
A single.
What?
Still haven't worked.
Okay. Stop.
Beautiful.
So three.
Do you know the names of the spirits that are with Steve and Heather?
Me.
Are you on?
Help.
Do you know where Heather is tonight?
Word. So yeah.
Say it, please.
Now.
You guys can say whatever you want.
And then
Yours getting hot.
Who's asked for help several times?
A little bit.
death of a
Hate it.
S.
That's sad.
Vision.
That cat has the best EVP ears, I swear.
That's the snow.
Y'all.
Ferocity. You trust me? Yeah, well, vision. You're cutting.
Should we pray for you? Is that what you're saying?
My.
You can probably find him, mate. It's
A little bit. Bangs will trim your.
Yes.
What type of help would you need?
You're cutting.
See.
And when
All right.
What's your grandparents' name, Laura?
You.
He, okay. Yeah.
Well, are we gonna breakdown?
What's that?
How much longer you want to run the box for?
I don't know, a few more minutes here. So
All right.
if the spirits know my mom passed away a month or so ago, has she been in my house recently?
No. Do it.
I felt my mom here a few times. Can you confirm it was her?
See him here.
Hello?
Did it say dog?
I think so.
It's just about the point. No, I'm using
Oh yeah, they did say your mom earlier.
Oh. Yeah, spirits. Can you tell us if my family and Debbie's family are related? With the wolf name?
We're gonna things a little trimmer, but not enough. Nice.
Who's nice?
Just.
Say she was nice. So nice. She passed. She was.
The man.
Help.
Below.
All right, spirits, you have any other messages for anybody?
Priest behind.
Something about you should see a priest?
Who should see a priest?
I don't know.
They need to see a priest.
See the gastrointestinal doctor.
I think we're gonna cut out in a minute. So if anybody has anything they want to say to anybody or a message, you need to say it now because they're listening.
I don't know.
Did you say wolf?
Some of your get rid of.
Which wolf always comes through on the ghost box here? Can you say his name?
It again.
Was that almost like in reverse? Was that a name in reverse? Maybe
Might have been.
like Jiddigat? I don't know.
Run. Is the radio on my phone? It's true.
Well, all right, spirits. I'm gonna turn the box off here in just a minute.
Funny. Switch.
Thank you for trying to come through. If anybody came through or tried to come through, we appreciate it. And we'll listen back. We'll try to.
Me.
All right, I'm gonna turn it off in 5, 4, 3,
Yeah, that was you.
2, 1.
Sleep.
Who knows?
Do you have a radio in your back kitchen, either of you?
Not me.
Radio or something going on? No.
No, somebody said they heard it say the radio in the back kitchen.
Huh.
So I don't know if either of you maybe had a radio.
I have a shelf with a bunch of radios on it that's near my kitchen.
Oh, maybe it's in back of the kitchen.
Yeah, it is kind of in back of the kitchen. It's where my portal and all my old collectible radios and ghost boxes and all that stuff is sitting right now.
Speaking of portals and radios, we've got a simulated antique radio I wanted you to take a look at, Rob.
Oh, yeah.
Putting a portal in it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's still got all the lights. Everything still works. But I thought that'd be pretty slick to put a portal in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was at a place the other day, a friend of mine's, and they had a radio, an old radio, and I like to collect those, you know, whether, I mean, I prefer them to work, but even if they don't work, if they're in good shape, just for the looks of them. But this one actually worked, and I was asking him about that radio, and because I like honed in on it, you know, right away. And they're like, no, that was already spoken for. And I'm like, gosh, shit.
Yeah, this is just a lookalike, but it looks like an old one. A lot of people think it is till I show them the tape deck on the side of it.
Oh, yeah.
But that'd be a good one to take apart and make a portal out of it.
Yeah.
Wait, are you showing us now? Because I don't know why I don't see it.
No, it's over here. It's one of the
Okay.
pieces we have in the parlor here.
Yeah, I got to get down there and see you guys down there.
Yeah, you got to come in. We've changed things quite a bit. Finally, starting to get some old creepy pictures and stuff up on the walls. We've collected a few more dolls. It's here's one of the latest. This is one of my prize pieces. This is Mortimer.
Is that an armadillo?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's cool.
ceramic armadillo.
And what makes it a prize piece?
It's because I found him.
Oh,
Discovered it. I was like, we've got to have Mortimer for the store, for the parlor.
There you go.
nice.
Yeah, just the odd, fun pieces. Make people ask questions.
Yeah, conversation pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny.
We're trying to, we're adding pieces to it here and there, and we keep saying that we're going for like yuppie witchy. That's kind of the look, the style. We don't want it to look, don't want it to get too cluttered.
Where it looks like Halloween decorations everywhere.
Yeah.
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 More of the, keep the witchy vibe, but kind of the yuppie side. It's a lot of fun with pieces we're adding and stuff. So you guys have to check it out. I'll try to get a camera next time I can move around and show you guys some of the new pieces.
Yeah.
So we'll figure that out where we can get around the store and show you some things. But
Do you guys go antiquing and looking for pieces, or just when you happen to be out and about and you see something?
yeah, we try to break away. We broke away this week, actually. Found some really cool pieces. So can't wait to get those in here. We found typewriter that is in just immaculate condition, which is really cool because Heather likes to write all the time. But yeah, that was a really neat piece. That was a really neat find. And then she found some really cool lighting for the wall, a really neat brass piece, really unique kind of looking. And then some friends of ours just got us some candelabras that kind of match it as well. So
Cool.
yeah, they're kind of odd looking completely. They're like one-sided candelabras, which is really neat.
Oh, wow.
So they kind of match that piece. So we're starting to get some more things in here. I think I showed you guys Mike last time we were in here. I'll show you guys Mike.
I think so.
You did see Mike?
I think so, yeah.
The clown?
Yeah.
Show them again.
So this is one of the. This is Mike. He's ceramic.
Oh, maybe we didn't see that one. Yeah.
I don't know if y'all can hear that.
Cool. It's a music box.
Yeah. But,
Does it ever just go off?
It was really weird. When I picked him up in the store, he went off. But you know, you write that off as maybe. But the unique story with him. Get him back in there. The unique story with him is I kept hearing the name Mike for like a couple of years, just off and on. I keep hearing the name Mike over and over. And we were out antiquing and went through a store. We found some really cool things here. And I saw him. I was like, oh, we've got to have him. He's phenomenal. And enough of that creepy vibe. Picked him up. He started playing. I was like, oh, he's even a music
that's
box.
probably the sign then that it was meant to be.
I was like, this is really cool. And so he had I could see the edge of a piece of tape on his foot. And I figured it was the price. And I flipped it up and it said Mike written across the bottom of his foot. And I was like, that's really strange. So I walked up there to the counter and I said, hey, the guy selling this, his name's Mike. Is that how you guys keep up with? She's like, no, that's a lady that's actually selling it. I have no idea why it says Mike on the bottom of it. And I said, well, he's coming with us.
Yeah.
Since that happened, the name Mike left my head. I don't know what the connection is, what that was, but I hadn't really heard it since. So I don't know. It's really, really cool.
He
I
picked
think it
his
was
home.
meant to be.
Yeah, he picked his home. Wanted to
Mhm.
go.
Yeah, he fits in really well. So people get creeped out by him and Bozo and Charlie McCarthy up there.
Yeah.
So, I'll tell you guys the story of the ribbons moving on one of the dolls in the parlor. So they're in a case. You guys have ever seen the parlor? They're in a glass closed case. And one night we're
I
on
saw
tour.
pictures.
Yeah. So Sarah, well, actually one of Heather's dolls when she was younger. Her name Sarah. Heather had named her when she was little. So it's got these little ribbons in the side of her hair. And so we're getting ready for tour. We're in the old parlor at this point, the smaller one. And all of a sudden, the guy starts looking past Heather, keeps looking in the case, keeps kind of moving around her to keep looking. She finally turns around and says, what are you looking at? And she goes, the ribbon on that doll's hair. It was just, and then it would stop. Just kind of do it like that. And Heather goes, that's pretty interesting. So he goes up to the case and he's looking, he's rubbing the top of it, make sure, where's the air coming from? And she's like, there's no air vents. There's nothing in it. She goes, I can open the door and let you see. He's like, no.
Oh, it's in the box almost.
Yeah, in the glass case. In the glass case, the ribbon on her hair, just one piece of ribbon. And then it stopped. So I'm assuming it was Molly probably playing with her hair.
Yeah.
And then we found, this is a really cool. Now we use her as a trigger object quite a bit. But we found her in an antique store just thrown in the corner. And she's a Two-Face. So she goes she goes to sleep on the other side. But she was just kind of thrown in the corner. But you can see her
Those
foot.
are kind of valuable, aren't they? I thought I've seen those somewhere before. The
Maybe.
Two-Face
But you see the foot had some damage. See the white right here? Heather had to work on her foot. So inside the foot, there's these little cardboard pieces that made the bottom of the shoe, I guess, kind of a little more solid. But it's these little cardboard or paper cutouts just stacked. But the one on the very bottom, when she opened it, it's all of them have this real neat like ink writing, like almost calligraphy looking writing on them. They're just chopped up pieces of paper. But the one on the very bottom has got the company name, and it says doll number 2 in 1904.
Wow.
It was hidden in the bottom of her shoe there. So we got pictures of it. So we're going to get a display for her and show
Yeah, I
that.
would. I think that you
Yeah,
got
where we
something,
worked on her. Yeah, that was pretty neat.
Yeah.
As soon as you said the Two-Face, I remember because I used to always do antiquing a long time ago, and there was something about them dolls.
Yeah, you know, when we do go antiquing, it's more of just the way the piece feels. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know enough to know the difference in a lot of stuff. And honestly, sometimes I'd rather have the kind of the knockoff anyway. That way I'm not worried about it or freaking out about it all the time. You know, it's just the vibe that it gives off. We've got a painting in here. Like I said, I'll get that camera where we can maneuver in here, but we've got a painting in here that her father had found for us that is really creepy. And people have come in time and time again, different people just over and over, and they'll ask about the painting. She follows you everywhere you go in the store. So her eyes follow you. But they'll ask about that painting. And Heather will say, well, what do you feel about the painting? Well, you know, anything come to mind? And we've had more than probably at least 6 or 7 people pick up on the name Anne. So that's pretty cool. So we've named her Anne. So we have no idea yet, but hopefully we'll get that figured out. But that's a neat little piece.
And with different people giving you different items too, all that energy, all the attachment, all, you know, you don't know what kind of energy you're bringing in. So when it's like from friends and stuff like that, it's like all the different, you know, cool vibes together just makes up a vibe.
Yeah, this place has got such a real great feel to it. We've actually we've investigated in here on our own several times when we first got in here, but it's starting to get a little charged up. So we actually bring tours in here now, and this is where we end the tours at night. But we sit on the old. I think I've told you guys before. We sit on the old Spanish Dragoon grounds. So the old Spanish army, they're mounted horsemen. This was all the area for them, their barracks and their stables. There's actually a horse buried under the building here. When they did the dig here in 2010 or 2012, they found that tons of pieces of pottery, all kind of stuff. And we think that they found one of the oldest wells here around in the back here underneath where the building sits now. So it's pretty slick.
So even having a water source around.
Yeah, we've gotten a Spanish soldier in here. He doesn't talk a lot, but he's interacted quite a bit. A younger girl by the name of Emily, we've gotten on several occasions in here. Believe it or not, I guess this was about 3 or 4 weeks ago now. We actually had Captain Rasmussen from the lighthouse here. We were talking, and a gentleman spoke up, and Heather realized real quick who it was, and so she validated pretty quick. But yeah, it was Captain. The captain was hanging out with us that night.
Nice.
Yeah. And of course, Molly's in here quite a bit. So yeah, it's getting a little lively. We're having a good time with it.
As Ariana's hearing a whispering while you're talking, and I don't know if she's hearing a feedback or not, but there might be some whispering going on around you right now.
Yeah, it's definitely energized in here. I can feel we've got a few curious ones in here with us.
Yeah, I saw in the comments just a few minutes ago, my comments were freaking out there for a bit, but Dee asked who the lady sitting next to you was and why she isn't talking.
Yeah, Bernadette. Bernadette doesn't say a lot. She laughs, but she doesn't say a lot. So Bernadette's been with us going on. She's been with us from the beginning, so right at 9 years now. And like I said, it used to be Claude and Bernadette. And then Claude was stolen a few Halloweens ago. So we're trying to find a good match for So, but yeah,
It'll happen when it's right. You're gonna find the perfect. It's gonna just happen.
yeah. We've got plans for Claude and Bernadette. So their last name is Macabre. So that's where we get the odd macabre here for the building. So, and then we've got a logo for them, and it's going to be the Adventures of Claude and Bernadette. So we've got their Facebook page, we've got their Instagram waiting. We're just trying to get Claude. Once we get him, we've got plans for them to get out and about with us to some places. So
It'd be cool if he was returned one of these days too.
That would be very cool.
yeah, that would be fantastic. Yeah, that would be good. So, but we'll keep looking.
Yeah.
So she doesn't seem to miss him a whole lot. She's always smiling. So
She doesn't talk. I mean, sounds like a great companion.
Yep. She's not very needy, that's for sure. She just sits and chills.
Don't eat much.
Yeah, it looks like a burger or some cheesecake or something, you know.
We get customers sometimes. Is that how long I have to wait?
Yeah.
No. She's been like that from day one. So
yeah, I've been doing all the jewelry and this and that. I'm hitting the coin shops and pawn shops and all the thrift stores. I'm always looking for sterling silver or even some nice silver plated stuff. So I'm finding all kinds of crazy things. And
yeah, there's some neat stuff. Heather's father's really good at antiquing.
Yeah,
his house looks like a museum. So he's really good at knowing all that and understanding all that. So we get a lot of pieces from him. I don't know if you guys have seen what looks like the casket that we've got. Almost looks like a child's casket, but it's actually just a trunk. But the way it's built, it's really unique. And when it was built, it would have actually been called a casket. This was pretty old. Back when embalming was coming around, I guess the American way was to figure out how we could make some more money with this. So the word casket used to be used for jewelry boxes or trunks or anything that you would keep valuables in.
yeah,
And so when embalming came around, they were like, all right, we're building these coffins, but how can we do this better? So they built a better coffin. Wouldn't you want to put your loved one in something that you keep your valuables in, like a casket? That's where the word casket comes from. So it's nothing more than a trunk, but it's a great conversation piece.
That's cool.
You see when they walk in, we've got a morning exhibit that we're starting to put together, and that's part of it. That, and I don't know if you guys have seen the dress from Salem from the 1800s that we've got. It's a morning.
I saw a picture of that.
Yeah, the morning gown's really cool. That actually came from that Ipswich area up near Salem.
Wow.
That's a good piece. So we've got some extra pieces coming with it. Just we ran out of room real quick. It was funny. We got in here in July of last year, and I felt like we looked silly. We had like 3 pieces of furniture. We had all this room. Almost 1,300 square feet. We came from 150 square feet.
Yeah.
All it could hold was 3 pieces of furniture and 8 people. And that was it. And we got in here and I'm like, man, we look a little silly in here. We kept trying to think, we had pieces come to us, things show up. Got a great counter that came in. We ended up snatching a few pieces from the house, bringing that in. And then the candle thing, we started to put that together and everything swelled up. Now we're almost out of room.
Yeah.
Now we're having to be real picky about what we have in here. So that's a good feeling, being able to grow through all that. So we really appreciate everybody coming and hanging out and doing stuff with us, coming on the experiences and stuff. So we really appreciate everybody. I know 2020 was a scary year for a lot of people. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, some of them are still digging.
Yeah.
Hopefully Godspeed with all of them. Get back to doing and get back to some sense of normalcy. I know all of us are looking for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a couple of pieces of pretty cool stuff in a storage unit that a lot of my mom's stuff is in. And I mean, there's not a lot of stuff in there, but there is an old steamer trunk in there that's really cool, and a couple other pieces of stuff like that in there that would be cool.
That's really neat. Yeah, we love all the antique fun stuff. It's neat. Makes you wonder, where those pieces have been.
Yeah, I mean that's
Exactly.
kind of like where I was going with the, I'm doing all these. Like yesterday, I bought some silver dollars, 1898. Like all these dates, and even with the silverware, I just got some the other day from 1935. And it's like, how many people have eaten with this? Where has it been? Has it been on a train, a boat, a ship, a house? And the money,
The Cowboys boot.
I look at this silver dollar from 1898, and it's like, how many pockets has this been in? What has it been spent on? Over 100 years old, and
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, that's what's neat about a lot of those pieces. It's really good.
Well, cool.
That's why they have some of the energy they have.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw somebody talk about you had seen some pictures of their ghost cat.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking about having a ghost cat. It's funny. I think we've got one back in our house right now. We had one in our house off of our older house that we lived in when we were over on the island. We had a cat in there for about 2.5, 3 months. And that was really neat. That was, to the point of wrapping around our ankles, could feel it, in the mornings, I thought it was our cats jumping up on the bed and walking up the covers to us. And I'd reach out to pet it, nothing be there. Jump up on the pillow. Our cat we had would jump up on the pillow and wake me up in the mornings, getting in my ear and purring and stuff. And one morning I felt them get up, stand on the pillow, walk across the top, and got to my ear and started purring. And I reached up to grab him to roll over and hug him for a second, and there was nobody there.
Oh, wow.
So the male cat would chase that cat. It started happening. The cat would just run from room to room, and we thought, what is the matter with you? And then we realized the other cat would watch, and they would both watch this, whatever it was, move through the house. But there was a cat that Heather had on tour. This cat would come out of nowhere. When she got to this one spot, every single night this cat would show up. She'd put her stuff down. She'd sit down. The cat would jump in her lap and curl up and go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then she'd do that portion of the investigation there at that spot. She'd start to move the cat. The cat would get up. She'd start to pack, and the cat would take off and go on about its way. But it happened every time. People were like, what are you feeding this cat? She's like, I'm not. I promise. I don't know. Cat just comes out of nowhere. Well, hurricanes came through, and one of the hurricanes came through. And after everything kind of got situated back, we went back to that spot. And Heather noticed after about a week or two, the cat never showed up again. So I don't know if something happened. Maybe the cat followed her home at that point, but that cat stayed with us for about 3 months. That was really unique. One of the best instances was Heather was putting on makeup, and she had sat down a makeup tray behind her to where she could get to it a little easier. And she said, hey, Steve, I can feel the cat in here around my ankles. And I said, yeah. I said, it's weird, and it feels just like one of the cats. She said about that time, the garbage can next to the sink tilted back and paused, and then it fell over. And when it fell over, you heard the bonk from the can, but you actually heard the cat run through the makeup bin. You heard it scurrying, trying to get out of the bathroom. I could hear it from the living room.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I believe it too. When one of the cats had passed away from these feral cats had babies, they used to always chase each other up and down the hall in the morning. And after he passed away, the other cat was racing up and down the hall like that. I would see this orb go by the top, but then the cat would be running.
Right.
And I would see another one of the cats sitting there and watching. I'm like, I think Ladybug is still doing it.
Yeah. We've got
because he would just go nuts. Like,
yeah. Actually, the male that used to play with that cat ran into the wall one day. I can only assume the cat went through the wall, but he tried to follow right into the wall and about knocked himself silly. But we've got a person that we know that shelters horses. When people get tired of them, they get to where the horses aren't doing well. Instead of putting them down, she'll take them in and kind of to the end of life with the horses.
Earth Angel.
And she said these two horses were together nonstop every day. These two horses were always together, and they would wrap up around each other's neck and kind of do like that with each other. And the other horse passed. And she said she noticed that the horse would be out in the middle of the pasture where they always hung out, and the horse would start doing that and kind of wrapping its head around the other horse like they used to. So she said one day she went out there and she took a camera, took a few shots, and she got the other horse. You could see the silhouette of the other horse wrapped around the horse together. That was such a cool photo.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we made it.
Cool.
Yeah.
We got a plan.
Fly by the seat of our pants.
Seat of our pants, you know?
Yep. Yeah.
Sometimes
Good
it's most fun.
times.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
it's the most fun.
Yeah.
Well,
Good.
appreciate it again, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For letting
thank
us come hang
you.
out.
I wish
Yeah.
I was out that way. I'd love to hang out with you guys. one of
Yeah.
these times and-
Yeah, anytime you're out this way, come on. We're going to be buried for a while, doing. Just keep growing here. But if we can ever get a minute, maybe we'll come out your way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but how far are you from Southern California?
About 7 hours.
I'd love to come out there and investigate the Queen Mary out there.
Yeah,
Southern
you know, that's
California.
I haven't been on Queen Mary, but I have done Hornet.
Oh, cool.
But Queen Mary's definitely one.
Yeah, I got to see Queen Mary one time for 2 minutes. I was on a job out that way, and I was like, I've got to go see this thing at least. And drove down and got to see her, but literally drove through the parking lot and turned around and had to head back.
I drove through. You know, I've seen it when I've been in San Diego, but I've never got to actually check.
Yeah, I'd love to investigate that. We need to put a trip together, and that's hopefully where we're headed with A Night Among Ghosts. So once we get the 13 Keys situated, things kind of we got plans for it. As soon as we get all these things in motion and have the ability to be able and go and do, we're going to start doing some bigger events and some bigger adventures, and you'll start to see some of that stuff come up. So Heather's starting to get a really good reputation around town, and a little further out, she's starting to get known a little bit. So
Yeah.
she does really well with the history. She's phenomenal with the history and stuff. And some of the older places, the Jimenez Museum is amazing, and it's one of the oldest structures still here in town. It's listed as one of the best, well-kept, well-preserved structures. And we never thought they would have ever done anything ghostly. A lot of them won't.
Yeah.
But they reached out to us, had heard, that we had done some things, and I guess, picked up on Heather's reputation. And then we've had another place here that just reached out to us a few weeks ago. So we're really excited about that. It's just as old, just as big. That's another great historical landmark here in town. So that will be that'd be another one to put on the list. So I can't wait. Can't say too much about it right now, but if that comes through, that's going to be a whole lot of fun. That one's been here for a while, and it's got to have some phenomenal stuff going on because the history is just unreal. So a lot like the Jimenez house. So you guys ever
you have to come back and talk about it and tell us.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll put that one together. That's going to be a neat one. We're excited. So we love investigating anywhere, but when you get an exclusive to be able to go in and check out some of these properties, we do a lot of things around.
Unfished pond.
Yeah, we do a lot of things privately too, around town. So people are starting to trust our opinion. We actually just we had our first real estate spiritual counseling, I guess, for one of the mansions here in town. We had done some blog work on it a while back, and we got a phone call right during the pandemic. We got a phone call. They wanted to have our opinion given spiritually of the house itself, and we're like, it's a fabulous house. So we met them, talked with them for a couple of hours. So hopefully we'll get a chance to go in and investigate that one. So,
Nice.
but thank you, everybody.
Yeah. And you can, I didn't mention it earlier, but, and Steve, you probably know Pete from the 904 now.
Yeah.
We're on the 904 TV app, which is on Roku and
cool.
Fire Stick. They play the reruns of the shows usually
awesome.
midnight. Yeah.
Yeah. We see Pete out there getting the scoop all the time.
Yep. So yeah, he said he's going to put them on the phone app as well. But yeah, anybody can, if you got Roku or Amazon Fire Stick, you can look up the 904 TV app, 904 Now app, and you can see reruns of the show on there as well.
Cool. Very cool. That's awesome.
So, all right, everybody have a great night, great rest of the week. We'll see you Sunday on Paranormal Soup. I can't remember who the guest is because
I don't think we got the fire yet.
yeah.
We gotta join you one night on that.
Yeah.
We'd love to get in the peanut gallery for that as well. So
Yeah.
if you ever have any room, we can squeeze in. Let us know.
I
Yeah.
know he's booked up through, I think he said August. But
Oh, good.
if it's something you want to do, we'll definitely tell him. So
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll put some things together. Let us know. So I know that's a really good show. So that you guys are on as well. So
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
you guys are doing fantastic. So
What do we get like on the paranormal radio show list? We got,
Top 50.
yeah, we were like in the 30s somewhere. Yeah.
oh, good.
Pretty cool.
That's really cool.
But yeah.
Again, guys, I'll tell Heather. Everybody said hey.
Yeah.
So I know she's watching. I know she hated missing tonight, but she wasn't feeling too well. So
Yeah.
Well,
I was wondering about
hanging out
myself
with
earlier.
you.
we have our own exorcist moment here on the show.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. And like I say, we'll see you Sunday night for Paranormal Soup. And then
Hey,
again
guys.
Wednesday.
Rob.
Good night.